Caligula went down in history as Rome's most reckless tyrant. His pathological eccentricity and intemperance eventually ended badly for him and his family. The totality of the factors that influenced the formation of Caligula's character is a controversial issue for researchers. Here we can mention the supposed mental deviation, the bad upbringing, he was brought up among soldiers, the difficult youth involving the massacre of his kin, the bad example of Tiberius' tyranny, and the favorable political conditions for autocratic arbitrariness created by his predecessors. The beginning of Caligula's reign was quite positive. He abolished a number of existing repressive and unpopular laws, granted amnesty, abolished the sales tax and organized lavish spectacles to the delight of the plebs. However, a few months after such a benign beginning, the emperor began to execute the undesirable. In the autumn of 37 Caligula became seriously ill, presumably, with encephalitis. According to ancient authors, Caligula's personality disorder became a consequence of his long illness. According to one version, the cause of the emperor's neuropsychiatric problems was epilepsy, which he allegedly suffered from childhood. After an unsuccessful military campaign to Germany and Britain in 39–40, which ended in battle with the sea on the coast of the Pas de Calais and collecting shells as spoils of war, Caligula focused on debauchery, consolidation of his autocracy, torture and executions, including of his own relatives. If at first he tried to win favor with the senators, he subsequently carried out a veritable terror against them, harassing them in every way and sending one by one to the scaffold. The logic of the executions was more and more to show those around them that in comparison to the divine emperor they were nobody, in spite of their origin and titles. One day Caligula laughed for no reason at a feast. One of the nobles politely inquired about the reason for the laughter. "What amused me," replied Caligula, "was that if I raised an eyebrow, you would lose your head. Let them hate me, as long as they fear me." He liked to quote the tragedy of Lucius Actium. A demonstrative disregard for all norms and moral and ethical rules became Caligula's trademark. In violation of the canons, he deified himself and his sister, with whom he cohabitated, walked around in women's dresses and costumes of gods, openly practiced adultery with noble married Roman women, regularly arranged violent orgies, often preceded by torture and execution, made his horse a senator. There are many similar stories about Caligula. However, today it is difficult to distinguish which of them really took place, and which are historical anecdotes. The emperor's wastefulness led to the depletion of the treasury. To solve financial problems, Caligula imposed new predatory taxes, arranged requisitioning of pack animals, and forced his subjects to bequeath part of their property to him. The only purpose of the renewed trials for insult to grandeur was often to confiscate the property of the accused. As time passed, the reckless emperor became increasingly suspicious and unpredictable. This precipitated the preparation of a large-scale conspiracy involving 8 noble patrician families. The commander of the Praetorians Cassius Herius, several centurions and a detachment of mercenaries were involved, apparently, not for free, in the assassination. On January 21, 41 they ambushed Caligula in an underground gallery on his way from the theatre to the baths and turned him into a bloody pulp. A little later, the conspirators also massacred Caligula's family, including his 1-year-old daughter. After Caligula's death, an attempt was made to restore to the Senate the importance it had lost under the emperors and restore the Republic. However, soon Claudius, a relative of Caligula, with the support of the army, came to power, put an end to the conspirators, and everything returned to normal. After performing its brief swan song, the Senate finally turned into a decorative deliberative body.